teams go for the ever so advantageous high ground, where they can tunnel very cheaply and have the most opportunity on the rest of the server for elimination, as they have the top down view. You also see teams call out the need to find a good lane, which is away from other players, both above, below, and horizontally. You see teams desperate for the extra materials that last them through to a full zone closure, going for impact eliminations, where they can top off on resources and power weaponry of their fallen opponents. So, game, where you're balancing positioning while maintaining what you built during the early game. And finally, the end game. You spend all the advantages you set yourself up with to earn the victory royale. Use this to form your game plan in order to earn as many series points weekend after weekend. And maybe next time, you're watching and highlighting your top players. This is Power2W, and I'll see you in game.
Bringing you a breakdown of one of the most dynamic, flexible, and clutch items every trio is utilizing in the Fortnite Champions Series, the Shockwave Grenade. We're going to be taking a look at some of the basics on how it's used and misused at crucial moments in the game, and how to adapt and play against them towards the end game. To get started, let's get a refresher on what shockwaves are and some of the basics of using them. Shockwave grenades are a utility item that drop in stacks of 2, with a maximum stack size of 6. When thrown, the shockwave launches anyone within its tile-and-a-half radius far distant from the process, adding protection from fall damage for the players who use them. Effective way to gain maximum distance is to time your jump well away from bringing yourself above it to higher rate of movement, or to move inside of it in midair for horizontal. You will only be able to go through about 5 layers of wood, brick, or metal before you come to a stop. When going for height, if you don't get stopped by any opposing players at all, you can reach upwards of 7.5 tiles in height, giving anyone above you a surprise and changing both yours and your enemy's game plan in a split second. Although really easy to understand and use individually, once entering the atmosphere of skills and teamwork, the use of shockwaves enters a whole new dimension. There are deciding factors in win conditions if used properly, allowing for easy positioning and rotation. After the landing position, and gets your whole trio online, ready to fire at a faster rate compared to the rest of the competition. Saving the grenades for a shock to the whole server. Looking at 8th and 9th zones with densely packed endgames, vertical shockwaves make high ground and mid ground layers crumble, and give patient trios and surviving solos a way to counter long tarps and bases towering above them. Facing off against 3 players usually proves fatal though, as you are vulnerable throughout your whole flight and easily targeted by the trio you're trying to attack. Turbo building walls on the way up from your shockwave can work against this though, but gives your newfound height poor foundation, easily shot out and focused from below. Panicking with shockwaves in your own box and misusing them is always an irreversible mistake during the game, giving you poor positioning split away from your trio, costing you building resources, or ultimately you and your teammates their entire health and shield pool if used at the absolute incorrect moment. To counteract the chaos from shockwaves, new and clean strategies are taking place to negate the negative potential mishaps in situations. When going for height, separately boxing up before using the shockwaves and going for height then allows you to have power in numbers as 3 players get a vertical rotation together, overwhelming the competition. Discovering new positioning and shockwave throwing angles and targets within your box might keep your trio and teammates closer together when using one shockwave to rotate, saving crucial mats and attracting less attention during your mid-game rotations. You also save your total shockwave count by doing this, allowing for more opportunities to challenge high ground, grief low ground in the endgame, or rotate in mid-game. Countermeasures can be taken too, such as keeping a teammate higher than normal at multiple layers of health, as in the event of a vertical shockwave, you still have someone up high who can rain down and support the trio on the retake. Keeping your own shockwaves handy is a way to counter anyone taking height off of you as well. But if both trios play mind games and the circle gets smaller and smaller, the more likely a chance there is for a messy, repeat shockwave circus happening all at the same time. Player after player gets sent flying in the sky, with teammates all getting sent around. Identifying these mistakes, staying in your lane, and watching teams move is a good way to anticipate and prevent disaster from striking before it happens. Although an item overlooked as simple ability, something will be close or great. Practicing reviewing and watching how players mistakes and get better retakes on items using one of the most taught items in the game. Just keep things in mind while braking, jumping, and blasting into the air until you get it just right. Who knows? Maybe you can have that top play or amazing clutch.
Blue pump, you're leaving with shockwaves, you're guaranteed heals. Like guaranteed minimal. Not only that, you're probably gonna get yourself some launch pads as well. So this is the place to be, especially if you want to guarantee your loadout. And
that's
you stick around just to get back to the lobby. Not much you can do there. You catch one pick, maybe you get a point for your leaderboard, basically. But
even then,
it's bad to lose.
You have to hope it's like a solo, otherwise that's going to get picked back up almost immediately. It's a tough spot to be in. But yeah, you were saying early game in Tilted has so not being able to build, or in some people's mindsets, not having to build, because you know that you can just focus on gun skill and accuracy, is such a big factor in building up an early loot. Just the early loot game is so it's huge here. Like
It's actually
it
crazy
feels like
too.
crazy. Everybody's going to come out stacked with a good set of materials. In fact, just because you can pick up all that stuff out of the chest and off of every elimination. If you do get challenged here, it's arguably one of the better spots to drop right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, imagine a game where one of you guys bring that double barrel out of Tilted Town, because there are some rules in play where the double barrel shotgun only spawns in Tilted. But you can even take the weapons out of the place as well. And
Third time's a charm. There we go.
I was
Finally made
going
it
to
up
say,
top.
he's having a little bit of a struggle there, trying to get up and over. He's
You got
gonna
to track down that space bar. It runs away sometimes. Unless they're playing on controller. My apologies. Controller gang, love you.
Control. If anything, Controller Gang has the best movie so far. These guys can go 360 on that.
Clearly, you don't watch my
Running and
stream,
all that.
Monster.
Now we're looking at Happy Hamlet here. Stack off. Minzu and Kinji here have that high ground. There's 3 teams here.
The prediction from 4 of the 5 of us, one of the players, Klops, going down in the feet up top there. You hate to see that.
And if I had to guess, I actually did a ME, a Middle Eastern VOD review. They land towards Junk Junction, so they must have had some kind of problems over at Haunted Hills. But we'll talk about that in just a bit here. Shockwave inside and takes the high ground here, and he is going to get chipped just a little bit. Such a nice pinch going on right here. And this is one of our newer competitive regions, so you know, there's a little bit of catch-up, right, to catch up to the rest of the competitive scene per se. Now they have...
I wouldn't even say that, honestly, because some of these players are so good, Monster. I mean, we've even watched each other grow very quickly playing the game just from watching these competitive experiences. You have opportunities like this. Look at that. The Kiji immediately flicks up, gets the knockout info, is trying to shockwave from, over the top. But you have to understand, these players in the Middle East region have been asking for their own region for quite a long time, so you know they've been watching the competitive experience between all these other regions. That kind of learning has to have happened big time.
That was a filthy little ramp edit right there to catch AZ2M. And yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on, is that they were held back for so long because of the ping differences, right?
Yep.
But now having their own region, a lot of it has, you know, a lot of these players have found a little bit of remedy in that factor as well. So good for them. We see new faces come up and have their moment. Pretty much catch a little highlight here today.
KG picking up the revive right there on Minzu. Knock from the middle of that fight. A valiant trade, though. Honestly, if your team only suffers a single knockdown, you pick up those 3 eliminations, I'd say that's 100% worth it. Those bubble shields in rotation out. Team moving up on top of the hill.
Not
Lucky landing.
He's actually hit with a little headshot right there, ripped apart all of his shield. Now forced only down to bandages, and this is a battle that they have to take on their heels here. And I like what they're doing. They're backing up as a squad, trying to use this time to also gather some mats in the process. This team is not letting up. You have the NL squad right here, Nella, Easy, and Saya Zine right here. Excuse me. They're still fully shielded up for the most part.
High ground right now. Gonna have to fight out one player all the way to the top. Shots coming from the right there. Looks like it. Trying to knock down that building. Pushing up side. Hold the high ground. Looking down from above. Little explode from underneath. And if the Bill gets that, waiting for the peak shot. Look at the timing on that. Very last second before getting to the pyramid. Gets a ton of big shots. Look at the last one. There it is. Finds the knock on Izzy. They have the advantage at this point. Picks up that elimination up to 125 total HP. Nella gets knocked. Wild Gamer picking up that elimination. And an RPG in there is going to be huge. Tack shotgun shots back to back. Finds the 3rd one. And that is a solid 3 eliminations for Psy. Wild Gamer making it up for the loss of Silence down there in the bottom left corner.
Fighting on the heels right there, and they turn that battle around. Very well done. Not Sai, I've actually had the pleasure with, I'm pretty sure, talking as I've, you know, browsed around the Middle Eastern region. So good to see him pulling up and performing here, as they now are pretty much clear, and they have the zone. They're in the clear. They have the zone. They can get this revive off. So Silence is going to be able to come back in the game as he gets hit up on the reboot van.
Huge value. That being said, the inventory of Sai has 2 green tactical shotguns in there with some bandages, AR, and that TAC SMG. Lucky landing, looking like it is calm at this point on the fields, but no competition left down here. As this trio is going to be able to pick back up. So you're going to finish moving up down here.
70 players to the Zone 3 ratio. The storm surge will start to tick, so there's only one trio probably affected right now. This trio here is completely safe, 105 damage above. But anything can happen. You can get pushed by the wrong ones. The other team can jump into a fight. So
at this point, only one player needs to go down, too. And we might actually find it. There it is. What a snipe. FHD looking back to the east over there. A quick little flick, a 157 body shot. They're going to try and apply pressure. Teammate up top. Trying to secure. Maybe get a chance for revive. Stinks.
They actually used a lot of resource just to try and keep that player safe right there. He chucked back the Zap Trap and the Stink. So using all, if not most, of their throwables right there just to hold the Power Squad down here in the factory area. And this is the second time now they've caught a knock, and they haven't quite, sieged the moment. Very patient. Will it bite them in the butt later on, though?
Honestly, I think that's the smartest play, because you see right now, all three of those players up on the hill are stacked up next to each other, and they may have seen people that were rotating in. I believe that's southeast of the little factory area there. So they get the knock, yeah, but you're down below. You're structure and get the knockdown player exposed.
In a one-by-one, that is one of the risks you take, especially in trio. There's way too many eyes focused on the field here. There's no way you can sit still in a box. That's the price you pay right there. FHD Yonks and NM7 doing a fantastic job right now holding the server down. Really, they're dictating the pace right here with all pressure, all fire coming in. This is the most active trio we've seen so far in the server.
The east side of the map basically belongs to them thus far. There is that team. You saw them look up above on top of the hill, looking down. Got to be very careful on the angles. Will not be surprised if there's a chance the shots come down from the top. NM7 getting shot. Team from NES over there. In back, one tap just past them. You look very top middle of the screen. That's the team I was talking about. They're all the way up top. They have a zip. They have height advantage. The little window peak on the brick wall that's edited right there, just out of screen now. You also down in Happy Hamlet have Minzu, Moon, and Kinji. The ultimate high ground down here. Number of teams underneath.
This is actually fantastic loading as well. 6 shockwaves, 2 shield bubbles. They're set up so pretty accurate. Nice little headshot right there from Kinji's gonna put some hurting on that team right there. They do have a heavy snipe to crack open the build as well. Stink, someone tries to take that high ground. He's gonna eat a couple of bullets for a sandwich right there as Sultan goes down by Kinji. Nice reaction speed right there. That shockwave play was not the one to do.
A valiant effort, but did land right in the middle of a trio, all kid of the teeth. Kinji has that shield bubble out. Looking to potentially make a rotation soon. We'll have to see here. I almost want to see one of these players toss it straight up, knock it down onto their own head, and make a move with it at the same time.
So he puts the bubble down so that their pad doesn't get taken out. So he says he's gonna set that up for the safety measure right there, and just like that, they are able to skate away and get to the next safe zone here. Nice long rotation, perfect launch pad, not a single one there. Shot on that rotation right there. So that was a very clean pass. See,
power still solid right there. Toggle, Eska.
Another player from one tap there. Toggle's chucking in all of the grenades right here. Flexi goes down. Iki gets taken out right there, and he catches another knock. That's a triple knock with the grenades right here. He's just letting them go.
But grenades are pretty good, especially when you have so many players stacked together. You have a team to spray down the walls where you're tossing those things.
And just look at the map. They're all in the same place. You're going to get someone.
We're about to get into placement points here. Just before we cut, we have 16. There you go, 16 trios remaining. As soon as we get to top 15, everybody picks up a set of points, 34 players total, which means a lot of these trios are no longer trios. You have quite a few single or duo players left at this point as the feed's still lighting up. Players are now forced to the northwest side.
Oh, I see. It looks like they're setting up a shockwave, right? Are they trying to set up the perfect shockwave kind of play here, angling the structures?
Craftsmanship is key, just as a reminder.
It's important to set it up properly so that everyone can get on out, but it looks like there's no time left.
No time.
They're just going to have to go ahead and throw it down. It's going to be a very scuffed shockwave here. But
honestly,
Sigil
that's not bad.
Yeah.
Sigil with a big move there, landed literally in a set of builds already, and there's edits set up. He now has a bubble shield to protect. He's going to look back and try and help his teammates if he needs to, or make a move here. He's going to try and build up to his duo.
And Eska does get taken out there, so Toggle is going to get in a little bit of a 1v1 right here. Someone of the box out is trying to look for that replace ball. You have to wait for it. Nice shot. Noor's going to eat the big pump to the face right there. He's going to put him right down. There was nothing he can do. He kind of asked for it.
Literally just waiting. Just waiting for the edit. You know it's going to happen. Just wait for the edit. It's boxed in. Going to have to try and get ahead of this storm. Down to 13 HP. Traps down. He does have the splashes, but it is not enough. That trio goes down. Looks like in 13th place. 12 trios remaining as the rest of the field. Shockwaves, tarps, and launch pads towards the next safe zone.
Now we're looking at the end game. Zone 7 here. You have your teams already situated up in the high ground. Shockwaves are already flying all around you here. Power, NM7, we're jumping back in. We saw land some ridiculous snipes earlier today. Does it still right there? close out by staying alive just long enough. The shots, the trades, FHD and Yonks were holding it down, actually trading the shots. The shockwave was perfect.
Minzu's trio went from the only full team left to both players knocked and Minzu in the storm because of a single shockwave so fast. I think nobody on that team saw that coming. Absolutely ridiculous. Last couple seconds there. Now, just take a look back. Really give us some details. We got Shaq Wager out in the studio. What do you got, Shaq?
Heck yeah, these guys had the power, they brought the force and cleaned out the game even at the worst circumstance possible. Even throughout the game, we saw double heavy snipes. We saw so many cool utilizing mechanics being used across internationally, which is huge because, you know, Lupo and Monster had a conversation. Are these guys caught up? Do they have enough time? Is everything, you know, in place for this region to be at the top spot next to EU and A, right? We have this breakdown of a little bit of separation in the middle. We have NA West, EU, Brazil, NA West, and they're all in that big top 8 region. But we have these top 4s. The first time seeing NA on the board. Well, we can see people now becoming stars, right? We could have the next insane, calmer, clutch individual Mongrel, but, you know, international, across the season, a different time zone, playing his own type of metagame, his own type of strats being dropped down from height, going upwards, downwards, everywhere around the entire server. So it's really cool seeing how a new region develops and exactly where they actually place themselves in the timeline of exactly how their skills are, how their build fighting metagame is, what they try to do on height afterwards. A pattern you see we saw in the first EU games where, hey, if MMB have height, everyone below them, no shields at all. Every tag from the start, it's an easy 72 white damage tag that usually gets them that elim at the end. Middle East, I'll break it down in just a second, but there's an entire
me today. But they are on the residential side, which is good. I personally, and this just might be like my thinking, but I feel like the loot's a little better on residential side than blacktop. Do you agree? Or do you think it's the other way around?
I think that there's more, there's sparser loot on the blacktop side. We're looking at Tilted right now, but I'm gonna keep talking about what we saw in retail. There's sparser loot on the blacktop side, but like residential does have, I think, more drop spots on the floor loot. But you know, we got those bendings on blacktops, and you have more of a horizontal advantage on everyone you see.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to kind of, you know, pick a game plan on blacktops. Residential, you kind of go all in all the time.
Yeah.
Because if you do get engaged on, like once again, you're all in, right? We see it in OCE, X2 Twins. They always end up having a fight, some type of highlight. It's really cool. Right now, though, you know, Lupa and Monster went over Tilted Town, the advantages, disadvantages, building and not building. How do you think player opinion has been of Tilted Town from the beginning to the end of how people treat the job?
I think originally people were maybe a little taken off guard by the fact that you could not build. Like, wait, the whole thing, did you have to build and whatnot? It's like, well, yeah, that's still a very big aspect of the game. But now there is a POI dedicated to you testing your shooting skills, right? How good are your angles and your peaks? How good are your rifling skills or even your close quarter combat skills? And that's what Tilted is.
Power trio.
Across the wayside. What's crazy here is, remember, they have these lasers. The other brutes fully aware. They're like, hey, there's another one. They're moving toward us. They're trying to take us down. But Power's on 18 effective HP, and it's just not enough. It's so easy to be focused down in the brute right now. So unfortunately, FHE is going to go down. And I don't know anything else his duo can do about this, right? They just kind of have to let him go down.
The other brute spawn, like, done enough, bro. You as well. You get to pick and choose what you want. You use it in the fight as well really fast because one other team is testing you. Looks like these guys are the kings of Happy all the way in the Middle East, which is huge. We have now two big things as well that a lot of people don't realize in the game is when you have kings of a drop spot clash against each other, you don't really see where people come from, right, in the end game when they're on height. But now that we know that we have the ASMR boys having all of retail, we have this rainbow loadout on every single person from Happy. We can now to see the storyline build up all the way to the end game of these two star trios at the moment in this game.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are looking very, very good, but look who else is here. We've got two trios just in front. There is one player from a trio left in Old Yonder. There's a trio making their way over a hill by that long ravine there. Okay, so it's Sazerin there, who's by himself. I'm not sure what he's still doing there. It looks like he might just be crouched, just potentially trying to loot there. You got Simar, JD, and Cake Pat, Cake Park, Dash, Cake Pack, Dash, something like that. Like that. I feel like some Cake as well. But now they just get to kind of walk into Old Yonder. I mean, there's obviously going to be no loot. They could farm up for materials if they wanted. All right, I take that back. There was one piece of loot. It was just the ammo box. My apologies, you didn't see it. But now they're right here on the edge of Storm, right?
Yeah.
The new safe zone. So they're probably feeling pretty comfortable because they do even have a Shockwave, which look like they have a Shockwave at East, and they even have a Shockwave on the long pad safety. So it's all going their way here in the early game.
Yeah, there's an absolute skirmish all the way in the snow side. We've kind of seen things develop, I guess even in Middle East as well. A lot of the people like the land split. They like to be up in the air, so to set a stage for you, Zeke, it's always just, a bunch of people playing desperate with a bunch of heroes that have already finished their fights. So you can imagine how scared people are split off. You can see exactly how they rotate in, and you do see a little bit more survivability coming out of the snow side towards the bones over here, towards the big monster skull. But at the same time, there is, those mid-game fights that do break down at times. Right now, we don't see any. We can drop into just seeing the options that Toggle has now to move towards, I guess, it's the desert biome towards the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, there's still so many players left. 75 and 26 of 31 trios left. Don't forget, we want to hit top 12 before we start seeing any placement points at all. And we're right now in Storm Circle 2. So there's still so many players that have to be eliminated before this ending, right? I mean, I don't imagine we'll see, like, Storm Circle 750 people left, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did see that. There's still so much that can't happen in this game. I'm curious to see what's happening back in retail. We saw that trio, the ASMR trio. They're pretty looted, and I'd assume with that Brood, like, they probably cleared retail, like, super, super fast. I want to know where they went from there. Because right now, even, like, Seagull, Toggle, and Eska, they have no eliminations. Their loadouts, it's not shambles, but it's, like, borderline shambles, I would say.
It's 100% shambles if it's a big zone, but you touched on it a little bit, right? Eliminations. What do you actually really want them? So what would you say if you had shield bubbles and shockwaves, the different options people have towards the middle or end game that they can use to actually, come through for elims or play for placement?
That's a good question. That's tough. I think it depends on, because, like, everyone knows what heat they're in, so you know who, if you're paying attention and you're doing your homework, like you know the other people in your heat. You know potentially where they're going to look to land. So, like, if I'm this trio, I'm not going anywhere near retail, right? Because we already know ASMR trio is there, and we even saw the power trio as well. So, I mean, right now they're near Salty, which it doesn't look like, looking at the mini-map, no one's there. Everyone's already rotated out, right? They're trying to get themselves in the safe zone. Looking at actually on the top left, you can kind of see. So right now, look, they're just on the outside making their way in. So we're back on power, and looks like it's just Yonks by himself. This is a brutal spot to be in. He probably definitely does not have their cards. They're not getting rebooted. There's no way. So right now, Yonks just has to do anything he can. I mean, I'd imagine he's probably want to play. If I can even just play for placement and get us those points, if he can find an awesome pick, great. But that's just like backseat. Right now, it's survival mode.
Yeah, the worst sound anyone could have heard from him on the server for this situation is that shield break sound. The whole desynchronization of the shield. So right now, he's worried. He knows shields around him know that he's worried. His entire plan at the moment is to use, you see, half his loadout's already gone, right? We talked about when to use your loadout, when is your win condition, do you want demons? You said it's full survivability at the moment, and Yonks has to go to the Bronx and even further now to even win the game, right? Like, 0 elims, the easiest thing to do, right? Getting the 3 points through eliminations is 3 separate fights. A lot of mats used there, right? A lot of gun skill required, a lot of range required in the fight against 3 other people. But if you separate it into entities on the map, right? And playing placement that way, right? Using your mats against one entity rather than 3 separate ones in a fight. You can then kind of, segment out your loot, your minis, your mobility, and actually get further and get 3 points without getting insane frags in an actual fight.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I didn't consider want to be hopeful for Youngs in this game. And what's different is, like, during qualifiers, you know, you had kind of 10 games and you had a 3-hour window. So, like, if you were in this situation, you could say, look, I'm just going to run the team and hope for the best. And even if I was eliminated, it's fine. We're just going to hop back into another game. But these are like, no, he actually has to sit here and try. And I mean, if I'm FHE, if I'm M7, I'm sitting here like looking out for him, like, right, you've got a team here, you've got a team there. Like, just try and keep yourself positive, because, like, for me personally, if I was in this situation, it would be so stressful.
Yeah.
But these are the very best of the best. They're here for a reason. As I say that, caster curse in full effect. I finish my sentence and Youngs gets picked up. It's okay. All they have to do is go back in, let that game wash over, and prepare themselves for this next game. Well, for them, these games already wrapped up overnight, so hopefully for the next game, he steeled himself, you know, at least hopefully. Yeah, you touched on it a little bit. It's going to be a weird analogy, so I segue, but bear with me here, right? Was on Youngs' shoulders, right? In cartoons, you usually have like an angel or a devil on your shoulders, right? Okay. Break it down to people trying to clutch up in that situation. Replace the angel and devil with your win conditions, right? Am I looking for free heals to go mid? Am I looking to play safe? And every time you see one of your shoulders kind of ding, that's what you have to play for. You have to suppress all the other easy stuff you see. Maybe there's a free heavy snipe you can take, right? At the same time, that exposes you, right? Your whole full shoulder is not lit up there. You gotta play at the side of the angel. So if you're trying to learn how to get in the clutch situations, trying to learn exactly how to rotate in the game, what is right, what is wrong, segment it out, wait for the proper shoulder to light up, and that's an easy way. Right there, Youngs, the mistake he made, he kind of chose the devil shoulder. He saw free tags for rotation. He knows he needs evens because he has 0, but in doing that, he brought the full force of an entire trio out, right? Yep. You talked about entities. He turned a full one entity you could just block with max. It's 3 people to face 3 separate AR shots. He got erased from the server. Man, that's so dope. Yeah. See, ShyWager dropping these knowledge bombs and making my inner child who loves Looney Tunes just so happy right now. I appreciate that, Shy. That was very nice. It's very well explained. Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you. Now we're looking at an entire different scenario. MSadig, I've actually seen this guy have some amazing highlights in-game and actually clutch it out in the Middle East server, sometimes topping the charts of our top plays of the week. Currently, he's going to be leading an actual trio. We're actually on Rampage's perspective right now, but these guys are absolutely raw when it comes to just taking those free aim duels, just engaging on fights, and following up with stuff. Right now, I've never seen more stink tags from one stink on the entire trio. Eska goes down. We saw Eska last game as well as rotating earlier now. They're very set on loot, but once again, they know that win condition, right? Yep. Even if you're not solo, as a trio, one shoulder is in. I got a knock, okay, stink follows up, right? That's how you have that whole momentum process, you have it planned out. You just gotta look for the right pings to follow through. And if they had some kind of mobility, I would imagine they probably would have gone in and cleaned up this trio, right? Because they got so many tags, like you're saying. Once that came out, it was giving 2 damage numbers, and they were taking pretty much the entirety of that cloud. You know they're on low HP. So at least one of those guys is dropped really, really low. Unless they have something and they're burning resources like splashes, a slurp, even a med kit or bandages, like, you know they're burning through materials to try and get there. I'm say, look, we probably don't, we're not gonna follow up. We could either tarp all the way over there and burn a bunch of materials. They hear us coming and they're ready to react. We just say, you know what, we got them to use their stuff. See, now you're on that shoulder wavelength. I got it! I got it! Yeah. See? There you go. So now you can point that out every time you see it. That is literally the explanation of what win conditions are and how to follow up things in the inventory, right? A lot of people used to hate stinks. They realize that, you know, people randomly stink me all the time when they first came out, right? People didn't actually know how to follow up with them. But now, he's got 4 stinks. He's ran through how many trios beside them, right? He's not throwing them for no really silly reason whatsoever, right? He's using them in response with explosives and in response with a knock. They're complementary items that aren't as griefy anymore, but actually strategically used to, you know, shake up an entire trio and not just have them box up the entire time when someone else actually has an advantage to push on them with. Man, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Plus, I mean, you probably, if you are in this trio, you probably want to save as many stinks for late game as possible, right? Because once the storm does start to shrink, super, like, small, those stinks become more and more valuable because then you're just, like, blanketing an entire tarp, and you're saying as long as you guys are trying to get to safety, you're going to be taking 5 ticks, so you guys can hold that L. But at the same time, like, their loot isn't great. Like, Prado was mid-game centric, which is fine, but now we're starting to move into that late game, so they want to try and find another trio to get their loot and kind of propel them forward, because, like, you've got the green pump, sure. You've got the long range in the air, sure. 4 splashes, awesome, but, like, those aren't power-ups. Those aren't a heavy snipe that you can just punch a hole in anyone's 1x1. That isn't nades or explodes that you could potentially use to pick up these eliminations. The power duo right now by themselves, they're just chilling and
not to be confused with the other power trio we saw go down. There are multiple players from many different organizations that are playing across all the regions and in the same region as well.
Yep.
These guys are still alive. Looks like we have one person. They might have a full trio actually. Looks like 90 is there with them as well. You guys